What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Inside the Crazy Ant Farm, your favorite podcast where we break down the latest and greatest news in Hollywood. I'm Logan, of course, always joined by the man who has seen every movie trailer before it even drops out on YouTube, the one and only Dustin.
Yes, I'm always on the scene, and I gotta say, this week, packed with some major news, y'all. We're so excited about the show. First up, we got Disney dropping the Moana live action trailer. Yeah, live action trailer. And let me tell you, already smashing records. Get this, 182 million views in the first 24 hours. That's insane. But no surprise, right? Because Dwayne Johnson is back. And I mean, talk about a tight turnaround. This isn't normal, y'all. The original movie's not even 10 years old, and we're already here talking about the live action remake dropping next year. Feels like Disney's playing some 4D chess with the audience, right, my man?
That's true. That's true. It's wild how quick these reboots are coming around their sun now. If the only thing faster than Disney's remakes is Warner Brothers Discovery's potential sale. Oh, yeah, that's right. They're shopping themselves around, bids are in, and sources say Paramount, Comcast, and Netflix are all still in the running for this bad boy.
Speaking of big launches, though, let's talk about Wicked for Good. It is looking like it's set to break major box office records with potential predictions already at $150 to $180 million for the opening weekend.
With that kind of opening weekend on the horizon, it's looking like it might be one of the ones to revive the box office after this rough fall stretch. And we're about to go and dive into all of this today, so stick around because trust me, you won't want to miss this conversation.
That's right. Grab the popcorn, boys and girls, because we've got a lot to unpack, everything we just told you about, and so much more.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Did y'all see that? What?
Let's just throw Scream 6 in there for like
It
my
was good.
favorite movie. It was really good. The best of the franchise, in my opinion, since the first one.
Yeah. What's up, guys? Welcome back to ITCAFpodcast. Oh my goodness, episode 314 of Inside the Crazy Ant Farm. We're super excited to get into all the latest and greatest entertainment news that's happening in Hollywood. You want a crazy, easy way to find your entertainment news? Subscribe to ITCAFpodcast. That is right.
Yes.
And before we dive into that entertainment news, we got to take care of some business first. First of all, our other podcast, Everything's Okay P, is out right now with a new episode all about support systems.
Yes.
That's for sure. And next week, we'll be coming back with our last one, maybe our last one for the year, maybe the second to last one, about giving thanks because of Thanksgiving, of course. And then we also have a new Is It Worth It out with the Running Man. Be sure to check that out as well. Subscribe, follow, all the good things. And then, of course, for this podcast, be sure to leave a rating below. Comment below, share, like, all the good things. Because if you didn't know, leaving a rating actually helps the podcast get seen by more people who enjoy entertainment news, but especially those who are trying to break into the entertainment industry. That's what we're here for. Us here at Crazy Ant Media are all about lending the helping hand, so please be sure to do so. Anybody that's interested in getting to the entertainment industry, like this podcast, share it with them, and we'll be sure to spread all the crazy entertainment news every single week.
Yes.
And then, of course, be sure to visit our website, www.crazyantmedia.com, where you can start rocking the latest and greatest Crazy Ant Media gear. Dustin is wearing a Christmas shirt right now. Those are not yet available on our shop, but man, oh man, those are dropping Black Friday. So be sure to stay tuned for those. That's for sure. And so much more, man. So much more. But we are diving into the industry news. And of course, we're starting off with the juggernaut, which is Disney.
Yes.
Now, in physical 2026, Disney expects to spend about $24 billion on content across entertainment and sports, up to about $1 billion from the $23 billion that they spent in 2025, now which ended in September of 27. That's kind of how the physical years run. Now, CFO Hugh Johnston expects the company's total content budget to continue to grow, of course, but he said it won't be at the levels of recent years when Disney and others were overproducing original content because of those streaming markets.
Yes.
Now, the $24 billion content spend forecast splits about half sports on ESPN side and, of course, the other half on the full traditional entertainment side. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go, because Disney didn't really have the best year as far as revenue, as far as box office and streaming, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I mean, they were definitely, Warner Brothers was the king of the box office this past year, something Disney was not used to because they've been dominating the top of the box office for more than a decade. So they were a little upset not to be at the top this past year. So I just don't know that it's the old adage, right? It's not always good if something's broken to just throw more money at it. It can become a money pit. So is increase in spending, even if it is just by $1 billion, the right answer? I think yes, in the sense that because he said they're going to slow down on producing content, spending money doesn't necessarily mean overproducing content. They're going to balance it out. So hopefully they're on the right track.
I think the only thing that they really had that made headway was the Lilo and Stitch live action remake. Everything else was kind of rough as far as critical review anyway.
Fantastic Four did okay with critical review.
True.
It kind of, box office, it was subpar. It did okay, but it was subpar. But critically, I think people loved it. I don't know. The live action Moana, and they released the first trailer for this bad boy, starring Catherine Lagagia as the title character, of course. Like the original 2016 animated movie, the live-action film will once again star Dwayne Johnson, a once mighty demigod who aids the adventurous young teenager on a quest to save her island and its people. Now, first announced at a shareholders meeting way back in April of 2023, the live-action Moana marks the tightest turnaround. The original Moana will be barely 10 years old when this live-action reimagining hits theaters, July 10th of 2026, so literally right around the corner. Good news, though, because there seems to be excitement for it. The trailer racked up 182 million views in the first 24 hours. Now, Disney has been dropping a lot of 2026 trailers as of late, so here's how the ranking shakes out for all of them. For a Disney live-action movie trailer, non-20th Century Foxcast, non-20th Century Studios, that's the second most viewed trailer for the studio behind the teaser of 2019's The Lion King. That one had 225 million views. By all accounts, Disney has a huge box office hit on their hands next summer with Moana dropping. Among all trailers that dropped this year and their first day traffic, Moana ranks third behind Fantastic Four First Steps with 202 million, The Devil Wears Prada trailer, which dropped last week, as we told you, for a 24-hour count of 185 million views. So there's interest, it looks like, for next year's movies coming out. So, based on the trailer views anyway, we'll see.
Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed. Get him back to that mountaintop. That's for sure.
Yes.
That's for sure. Well, Thomas Biucha, who wrote and directed the 2005 dramedy The Family Stone, is actually working on a sequel for the complimentary holiday classic.
Yes.
He recently revealed that he had already been thinking about revitalizing the fictional Ken before the death of the beloved actress Diane Keaton, who died, of course, in October at the age of 79. Now, Keaton's character, the Stone family's matriarch, Sybil, dies after a terminal illness at the end of the original film. Now, the Christmas favorite and box office hit, the movie features a star-studded cast, of course, with Sarah Jessica Parker, Dermot Mulroney, Luke Wilson, Rachel McAdams, Claire Danes, and Craig T. Nelson. It is unclear who will be back for the follow-up film, as nobody has officially signed on for the sequel just yet, and it's not even officially greenlit at Disney, which acquired the film's original distributor, of course, 20th Century Fox, back in 2019. Now, Bezucha expressed, however, that he only wants to return if the original cast actually comes back as well. So We'll see, man. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen this one? Have you seen Family Stone?
I haven't.
Oh, it's such a great movie, man. And I'm kind of happy because of the way that it ended that they would come back and revisit it, even more so now. And I can't imagine any of the original cast members saying no, especially with the passing of Diane Keaton. It's like an honor and tribute to her in every way. I hope that happens. Hey, the purple rain is falling, baby, and I just want your kiss. You know why? Because you can't underestimate the power of Prince, the Dancing with the Stars Season 34 semifinals episode, which was themed all around Prince hit another season high, y'all, with 7.22 million total viewers, according to the network, and a 1.5 rating amongst adults 18 to 49. Now, this week's episode became the highest watched semifinals episode in ratings in 7 years, since 2018. And get this, it's up 28% in viewers compared to last season's episodes. Among adults, it's nearly doubled its rating, with last year's episode earning 0.79. And this is where it gets really cool, and I'm not surprised by this, though. This year's episode is the show's best telecast in 9 years total. The interest has also grown immensely with younger viewers, with a 1.68 rating amongst adults 18 to 34. The best delivery in the younger demo in 10 years, and the strongest for an episode in 14 years. Additionally, fan voting rose to a new high of 55.5, almost 60 million votes. The finale, of course, of Dancing with the Stars will air this coming Tuesday, November 25th, with the final 5 couples each dancing 3 times for the first time ever. Each pair will perform a judge's choice, an instant dance, and a freestyle routine. Robert and Whitney. I'm going Robert and Whitney, man. Come on, I'm all in on Robert and Whitney. I'm not surprised. You know, they're bringing in people that the younger guys follow on TikTok and follow on, you know, in just pop culture in general. So I'm not surprised by the boost in the younger numbers. And clearly, we talk about it all the time. That's the market, y'all. Make no mistake, 18 to 34, but primarily 18 to 24 is the glory road. That's where you want it to be. And if you're nailing them, ratings go up. No brainer.
It's true, man. It's true. And it does seem like this season in particular was definitely more popular and more talked about than other previous seasons, especially with it coming back after being canceled or on hiatus, I like to say now.
Oh, yeah.
So it is going to be very interesting to see how we do move forward. But heading over to Fox, where there's a lot of trailers that came out this past week, guys. Well, the first trailer for Fox's Memory of a Killer, starring the gray-haired Silver Devil himself, Patrick Dempsey, and of course Michael Imperioli, has been released. Now, the series will premiere this January. Now, the series also follows up Angelo Doyle, who is Patrick Dempsey, a hitman who is losing his memory. As Angelo begins to lose his memory as a result of early onset Alzheimer's, he slowly begins to regain his conscience. With his friend Dutch, who is played by Imbroli, who works as a chef at a restaurant as a front for the criminal enterprise. The two must team up to help save Angelo's family from danger. The series description reads, Angelo is exceptionally resourceful and talented. Best of the best, they say. But he is about to be tested like never before, and now every minute counts. This is only made more difficult when he discovers that his wife's recent death may not have been an accident. So when someone comes after his daughter, who is pregnant, it's clear that the wall between his lives have been breached. Now Angelo must hunt down his mortal enemy while continuing to carry out his hits without giving his diagnosis and still making it home in time to cook dinner for his daughter. Now, this one sounds very interesting because there was a movie that just recently came out on HBO Max starring Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
This is the exact same premise, y'all.
I was literally going to say that. Yeah.
So.
Except that, it was a son and, and no pregnant daughter, but same thing. Yeah, very, very similar. So we'll see. The movie was great. I don't know if the show will be any good because, All right, let's jump over to the one that's, I was going to say causing all the drama, but Paramount's right there with the drama. So let's just stick with this. Paramount's part of this drama. Warner Brothers Discovery, the bunny, of course. Warner Brothers Discovery CEO and our not-so-favorite person, David Zaslav, hosted a star-packed dinner at his Beverly Hills home Wednesday night. Because we haven't been very friendly to him, maybe that's why we didn't get the invite, bro. We didn't get it.
It makes sense.
We weren't on the list. That's all I'm saying. But apparently hours before he took a red-eye flight to New York to consider the first wave of offers for the entertainment conglomerate that he headed, of course, since 2022, the guest list, as I said, did not include us, but was pretty impressive. Oprah Winfrey, Lauren Lorne Michaels, Margot Robbie, and Tom Ackerley. If you don't know, that's her husband. Al Pacino, Sandra Bullock, Jonah Hill, Bette Midler, Kristen Wiig, Brian Lord, Nancy Myers, and more, y'all. In total, about 20 people joined in for a casual discussion about movies and various projects that are in the works at the studio. One source with direct knowledge of the evening said the mood was lighthearted and fun, despite the gravity of the situation that Warner Brothers Discovery is facing. The auction process, of course, kicking off less than 4 years after the company went through its latest mega merger, the union of Warner Media and Discovery, completed in April of 22, is sparking dread and anxiety amongst the rank and file at Warner Brothers, HBO Max, and the staffs at CNN, TNT, TBS, Discovery, Food Network, Home and Garden TV, and other linear cable channels brought under the WBD umbrella with that merger. Now, on Wednesday night, however, the dinner party conversation was said to have kept the emphasis on new projects in the hopper. That wasn't much conversation about the sale process at all, but one source said it was made clear that Zaslav and his key lieutenants expect the process, which seems very bold to me right here, to be essentially done by Christmas. What? Maybe approved, maybe a decision made, done? No, Mr. Zaslav, it takes federal approval, and that takes a while. Just saying, ain't gonna happen by Christmas, dumbass. Look, I have a theory on this before we jump into the buyers here. As you said at the top of the show, their plan before all the interest in swooping in and buying them was to split the company into two. Warner Brothers would exist as Warner Brothers again with Warner Brothers Pictures and HBO Max and the streaming outlet, while Discovery would end up being its own company, taking the cable channels and all the debt with them. This party says to me that he's leaning that way still. He's trying to set up his relationships with talent because he, in my opinion, is anticipating still being in charge of Warner Brothers. And he's trying to, remember, he came in and caused some rifts with a lot of talent. And they left and won't work there again. So I think this is his CYA because I think maybe he's leaning that way. So that's my opinion on it. But why throw this big party and, smooze and say everything's okay, let's talk about upcoming films if you're planning on selling it? Yeah, so, Yeah,
it is very interesting because I think you're exactly right. I feel like he's trying to make everybody feel comfortable, even though he is not in control at all. So it's very interesting. But
it's the board.
He's a con man. I don't get it. Like, I don't understand why people would ever trust anything that comes out of his mouth.
No.
And it feels so much longer than freaking 4 years that Warner Brothers has, been, merged with Discovery, because like in those 4 years, the amount of episodes that we have talked about this man and his business dealings and like the worry and headache that he has given the entire industry, while also still being one of the highest paid executives in the entertainment industry is absolutely wild, especially when your company is barely staying afloat and you're being one of the most paid executives in all of the land. How does this make sense? I don't understand.
When you think about it, HBO/HBO Max/HBO/HBO Max had more name changes than years they've been merged. It was insane. One last thing before we jump into the suitors who might get it. A couple of big names notably missing from that party. Mr. James Gunn and Peter Safran. Oh.
Specs.
Well, you would think after the huge success of Superman and the launch of the new DCU that those guys are kind of important to the future of Warner Brothers Pictures. Should have been on that party list, it seems to me. That's the first thing I noticed about names not being on the list.
Yeah, I wonder what that's about.
I don't know.
But, I mean, speaking of the sale of Warner Brothers Discovery, it's about to dive into the nitty-gritty work of deciding whether or not to sell itself in whole or in part. Hopefully in whole, but it's still breaking it down, like eliminating a studio, basically. The media conglomerate is now reevaluating multiple acquisition offers. Now, first round bids, which were due Thursday, November 30th, so 2 days ago, were expected to be submitted by Paramount Skydance, Comcast, and Netflix. Now, a source with knowledge of the situation said that those three entities did submit a non-bidding preliminary offer by noon Eastern Time's deadline. It's unclear, though, if they were other expressions of interest. Multiple sources noted that there was a bidding process that required participants to sign a non-disclosure agreement as compliance. Paramount Skydance, Netflix, and Comcast declined to comment, as did Warner Brothers Discovery. Of course, Warner Brothers Discovery said it will consider proposals in which the Warner Brothers business, HBO Max, and studios is sold separately from Discovery Global, the TV-centric company. Now, that aligns with Warner Brothers Discovery already underway plan that we just talked about, which was splitting the two companies by April of 2026, with Zaslav set to become CEO of Warner Brothers and currently CFO Gunnar Windensfels to become chief executive of the Discovery Global brand. Now, it's very interesting to try to navigate because, like I just said, no matter what happens, I feel like if they don't split and it does get sold to one of these different companies, you are essentially losing a studio. The freaking creators have one less place to try to shop their projects, and it becomes a mess because they you're eliminating jobs, you're eliminating places to try to sell your content. Like it's a very difficult situation. I'm very scared. And what does it say that I'm hoping that they go through with the split and they're able
Yeah.
to do that?
No, me too.
And I mean, the easiest one to get passed through, because you were talking about the regulation and the government, the easiest one that's going to get passed through, of course, is going to be Paramount because they're buddy with Trump, like we've talked about before. But it's still a freaking shitty situation.
Yeah, they've already had senators come out against Netflix saying that they would challenge it if it was Netflix that they
saying
decided
that
to
it
go
was
with.
a monopoly.
I'm not okay. I'm not opposed to that though, because I think the worst one would be Netflix. I know they
It
came
would,
out this
yeah.
week and promised to still release Warner Brothers movies theatrically. I call bullshit on that. Maybe they would start and then revolt right back to they don't like releasing movies theatrically. I think what you said about losing Warner Brothers and just having it being folded into Netflix, that would be my concern. I want Netflix to have no part of this. I think the safest bet, in my opinion, if they are going to merge with somebody else, is Comcast. Because I believe Comcast would be along the lines of what Disney did with 20th Century Fox. 20th Century would remain, like in Disney, its own studio, and has. And it operates as its own studio under Disney and still has a banner, blah, blah, blah. That's what I think Comcast would do with Warner Brothers Pictures. It would allow Warner Brothers Pictures to exist as its own entity under the Comcast company banner, like Universal Pictures. So I think if we're going to go that route, I would most likely want it to be Comcast. Paramount, they want all of it, and I think their really only real interest is the cable channels. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just going to put that out there. We all know that's what they really want. So if we want Warner Brothers to stay, their 100+ year history, and be the Warner Brothers, the bunny, the house that we know, it's got to, in my opinion, be Comcast or follow through with the split and just be its own entity. If that's my opinion. Otherwise, I agree with you. I think it's swallowed up and Warner Brothers ceases to exist. Plus, come on, out of all of those, Peacock is the one struggling the most with its streamer, and integrating HBO Max just seems like a no-brainer to me. Like, so, I don't know. That for me, that just seems like the best fit.
Yeah, because I mean, it is a very interesting situation because behind Netflix, Warner Brothers Television is like one of the biggest television scripted content programmings that's out there. They obviously with HBO, but then all of their, other channels that they have and other projects that they make for other people, like a Ted Lasso, like all these other things that go to other channels. Like, it is just so terrifying to think about, like, as a creator, not having another place to try to shop your project. So I don't know, man. It's very interesting. But then at the same time, like, leading into our next story, that they're still greenlighting stuff.
Yeah.
Even if they barely had a chance. Like, for example, House of the Dragon. It's been renewed for season 4, which is set to debut on HBO sometimes in 2028. Now, the third season of the Targaryen-filled Game of Thrones prequel is due this summer in 2026. Now, the renewal announcement came during the HBO press presentation in New York, where CEO Casey Bloys also announced other Game of Thrones prequel series, like the upcoming A Knights of the Seven Kingdoms, already got renewed for season 2 before its first season even debuted, and that's going to be January 18th. The second season is slated for 2027, meaning the Thrones fans will have to dispatch whether or not where to go in Westeros every year through 2028. But that's not the only one. Live and Die in LA or whatever that new show is.
Yeah.
There's so many others that just got renewed for a second season
Task
and
with Mark
renewed.
Ruffalo got
Yeah,
renewed for a second season. Saw
exactly.
that too.
So I mean, that they're acting like they're not worried about it. They're continue to greenlight these shows, but yeah, man, it's still a wild situation.
Yeah, it's terrifying. Like I said, Comcast did a good job of keeping Universal, and so my hope is they keep Warner Brothers, and have it go there if anywhere. That's all I'm saying. Dave, call us. Next time, invite us to the damn party. We can help you out, bro. Let's jump on over to the other chaos causer and one of the bidders for Warner Brothers Discovery, Paramount. Paramount is betting big, though, guys, on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's right, a new live-action film is in the works from producer Neil H. Moritz and for the studio's Sonic the Hedgehog series. No other details have been confirmed, but Paramount reportedly wants a family-friendly take on the Turtle brothers known as Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, and Michelangelo, with the kid-friendly edit in mind. Now, Paramount is putting a pin in the plans for their recently announced R-rated live-action adaptation of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin, which the studio announced in 2024. That project, based on the bloody and intense graphic novel series, was being developed by former Warner Brothers chief Walter Hamada and screenwriter Tyler Burton Smith, with nobody Helmer Elianushir in talks to direct. Now, sources say the film remains in development as a project to revisit in the future, though it likely won't be anytime soon. Now, if you guys aren't familiar, there really hasn't been any live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles adventures since 2016's Out of the Shadows, which of course bombed at the box office with $245 million against a $135 million budget. Paramount then turned to animation in hopes to revive it with 2023's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, which of course was written by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. That did become a modest box office hit with $181 million against a $70 million budget. A sequel from Rogen and Goldberg, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem 2, is still on the schedule to be released September 17th of next year. So we'll see. It's a viable property. People like it. But I get that they want to try to keep it kid-friendly and compete with the Supermans and the Fantastic Fours and all that. But anybody who knows, I mean, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was created as a violent, gory comic book and graphic novel. It's kind of like the source material is that. So which wise, I was excited for the rated R version, but what do I know? Apparently we're not doing it. Nope, apparently not.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Deadpool is an anomaly, right? Or an anomaly, because like all the other studios are scared to take chances with that type of content, even though it was obviously successful. So we'll see. Hopefully that comes back around, and hopefully, we'll see another or a good sequel that comes out of Rogan and Goldberg. I think that would be freaking fantastic. But CBS has unveiled its mid-season schedule, setting winter premiere dates for new series like Taylor Sheridan's latest Yellowstone spinoff, Why Marshals, and a true crime program, Harlan Coben's Final Twist. And CIA, the Tom Ellis starring spinoff of FBI, will also premiere February 23rd, despite reports that the series has lost 2 showrunners and a main cast member.
Yeah.
And that's not the only thing, y'all. And Padma Lasquishmi will host America's Culinary Cup, debuting March 4th. The 3-hour premiere of Survivor Season 50 will also take place on February 25th, preceded by 2 weeks of special Survivor programming. Starting February 9th, CBS will air 10 encore episodes from Crossed across the competition series history. So that's very exciting. CBS and Paramount are leaning heavily into Survivor, which they should because it's freaking awesome. So
Hell
I'm
yeah.
happy to see it. Happy to
Hell
see
yeah.
it.
It makes sense to 10 encore episodes because it's likely going to be episodes that highlight returning cast members that are going to be competing in season 50. You would think, right? Like, you know who else is returning? And I am fired up about this one. This is so exciting. The cast of Everybody Loves Raymond. We told you about it. There were hints, there were rumors. Well, they are officially back in the Barone living room for the reunion special celebrating the 30th anniversary. What? The 30th anniversary of the CBS sitcom. Shut up. Hosted by star Ray Romano and series creator Phil Rosenthal, the special airs November 24th. Oh, next week? Yeah. On CBS at 8 p.m. It will also stream on Paramount Plus. Now, the anniversary special will feature appearances, of course, by the whole Barone family. Cast members Brad Garrett, Patricia Heaton, Monica Horan, Madeline Sweeten, Sullivan Sweeten, and more. And it will include, apparently, we're hearing a very touching tribute to the late cast members, Doris Roberts and Peter Boyle, who, of course, played Ray's parents, Marie and Frank Barone. CBS also released some first look photos from the special. If you guys haven't seen them, look for them, check them out. It looks amazing. Look, I know you love that show. I love that show. I think everybody did love Raymond, literally. I'm excited for this one. I think it's going to be a really touching kind of like, tribute back, and good for them. I also like how they stuck firm with, because apparently early talks were to try to revive this thing, and they said without Doris and Bob, it was just not going to happen. Peter and Doris are gone, and we cannot replace them, and we will not revive the show without them. Good for them for sticking to that. So, anniversary special.
Yes, super excited about that. The waterworks will be flowing, that's for sure. Well, it is also flowing at CBS and Paramount Plus. Oil with Landman Season 2. Oh my goodness. The premiere episode bringing in about 9.2 million views in its first 2 days of availability per Paramount. That figure is based on the total minutes viewed divided by the total episode's runtime. Now, the second season debut of the oil industry drama launched on Paramount Plus on November 16th. Paramount also says that the 9.2 million views is an increase, about 262% increases over the series premiere in 2024. While sampling the season 1's increase from 320% since the second season's premiere. Now, the latter figure is based on the views for season 1 for the past 28 days compared to the last 2 days after the season 2 debut. And man, oh man, Billy Bob Thornton for the win. He was kind of gone a little bit out there for a while. I mean, Bosch was kind of popular for Amazon MGM Prime's viewers and stuff like that, but not to the level of this. He deserves it, man. He's so talented and he's so different and kind of cut from a different cloth that we've seen recently, and we need more of that. We don't need the same people that are doing the same things. Billy Bob Thornton is such a talent, and Landman is such a great show, so everybody needs to jump on this.
And him and Demi Moore together, man, that dynamic. I saw an interview where they were too cute about how they were in Indecent Proposal way back in the day, and he said, we worked together, and she didn't remember. She was like, he caught her off guard. She literally didn't remember. Of course, they became really good friends when Bruce, because they were on Armageddon, and they launched Planet Hollywood, and Demi would bring the kids, and they became really good friends, but she legit didn't know they worked together on Indecent Proposal. I'm like, that was hilarious. Plus, you know why I think this one just took off? Boom, bam! The man, the myth, the legend, Sam Elliott playing Billy Bob Thornton's dad. What? That's just epic. I'm just going to leave it there. That's just epic. All right. You mentioned that CIA was having some problems. Showrunners leaving, cast member leaving. Well, trouble in Tulsa too, guys. You wouldn't know it, though, right? Because Tulsa King has everything going for it. A-list series lead in Sly, one of the most in-demand creators in the business with Taylor Sheridan, and the full backing of Paramount. They've already greenlit this thing for a couple more seasons. But behind the scenes, the show's handling of the recent firing of more than 24 crew members is seen as the result of a lack of clear leadership. Why is that? Well, because as of now, no formal showrunner is in place going into production on the 4th season in Atlanta. What? According to multiple sources, Scott Stone, who is the executive in charge of production from 101 Studios, which produces, of course, Tulsa King, has become the de facto showrunner. He is said to be working closely with unit production managers Rebecca Revo and Christian Egypt in running the series. None of the three is actually involved in the writing or directing of the show, though. While it's not unusual for a production company to have a significant role in the day-to-day business of a series, the absence of a creative lead has been a source of confusion for the Atlanta-based crew. Many say they have not been involved in a production where a studio executive has literally been given this much power on set. Now, Stone's apparent elevation also comes at a time when many writers in the industry are struggling to even find work. So more to the point, with fewer writer positions available and fewer shows in production, which is, by the way, a vital training ground for showrunners to be. You know, most of the time it's a head writer that becomes a showrunner. There have been concerns about where that next generation is actually going to go to learn the trade, man. It's terrifying. And you know, I'm a huge fan of this show, and I've been watching. A lot of the writing credits, Sly. He's been writing episodes. So, I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, he fucking wrote Rocky. He's a brilliant writer, and the episodes are great. But when you're relying on your lead actor to write the episodes, I'm just saying.
Yeah, it is interesting, though. It really is, because there are some good things coming out of the show, though, because they have just signed on Gretchen Mol from Millers and Marriage and American Gigolo. Oh, my goodness. To star as a series regular opposite of Sylvester Stallone for the upcoming 4th season, which recently started production. Now, Mol will play Amanda Clark, a Tulsa politician in the series, starring Stallone as Dwight the General Manfredi,
Yes.
the New York mobster sent to Tulsa to set up the criminal organization. This marks a reunion for Mole and Terrence Winter, who is back as executive producer and head writer on season 4 of Tulsa King. He created and executive produced HBO's acclaimed period mob drama Boardwalk Empire, which Mole was a series regular on that bad boy, and it seems like they have a particular type of genre that they like to be a part of, which, you know, if the bread fits with the butter, might as well keep putting it on. So there you go.
Funny you should mention bread and butter. We'll talk about that later. This is good, though. Maybe Terrence Winter will be elevated to showrunner. Head writer, yeah. I mean, and he's run a show in the past, so give it to him, man. Stop the drama. Stop the drama. Speaking of no drama anywhere, only good things, we're jumping on over to NBC Universal, where Wicked is casting a spell over the box office. Once again, Universal's musical sequel, Wicked for Good, has made, get this y'all, $31 million in previews at the box office, marking the biggest pre-opening haul of the year so far. The year's previous record holder was Warner Brothers' Superman, which earned $22.5 million in Thursday previews before making $125 million in its opening weekend. Now, the highly anticipated conclusion of last year's Pink and Green sensation is on track to make $150 to $180 million this weekend, which means it could nab the biggest box office debut of the year. Currently, the record belongs to Warner Brothers' video game adaptation, a Minecraft movie, which made 10.6 in Thursday previews and went on its way to launch $162 million for its opening weekend. Now, Universal is playing it safe and predicting a slower end of it with a $125 million opening this weekend. But nobody's buying that because the fan excitement is high after Ariana Grande's Glinda and Cynthia Erivo's Elphaba became pop culture mainstays last fall. Last year, the director John M. Chu's original Wicked hauled in $19.2 million in previews and grew to $112.5 million opening weekend on the same pre-Thanksgiving weekend. So, yeah, I think this one's going to do way more than the first one now that people know what it is. Yeah, man, this is looking really good for my draft. I mean, it's going to unseat my other pick, which was the highest grossing thing. It's going to come down to Avatar in this one, man. So fingers crossed. Come on. I just want this thing to kick butt. I'm excited. Yeah, I'm going to see it.
It's pretty interesting, though, man. It's pretty interesting because I've actually seen, I think it's going to do big numbers. I think it's going to hit $1 billion, hopefully. Yeah. But I have seen like that this movie isn't as good as the first one, which is very interesting. So, I mean, but you know, sequels. But yeah, I'm still curious. I think the word of mouth and introducing the Dorothy aspect from the original Wizard of Oz, I think that is going to get it over the hump. But yeah, I don't know if it's because we follow a lot of like film snobby people
Yeah.
who know their shit, but sometimes disconnect between entertainment and stature. So it'll be interesting.
Well, the thing that I think that these snobby people, you're right, that we follow and why they're kind of giving it some heat is because for anybody who never saw the Broadway show, Wicked does take some liberties and kind of changes the origin of the Wizard of Oz a little bit, right? For instance, spoiler alert, girl in the wheelchair, Elphaba's sister, aka the Wicked Witch of the East, that the house drops on, they're complaining about, so why'd she have the ruby slippers were given to her as magical slippers so she could walk. And they're like, that's not how it got, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, come on, man. You got to take liberties with stories. It's okay to change some things up for newer audiences. It's like, back off, just enjoy. It was a huge hit on Broadway for a reason. So just let it be, man. Just let it be.
Yeah, exactly. Go see it for yourself. Go see it for yourself. Formulate your own opinion, and that's okay. Well, what's also okay, and something that we're really looking forward to this upcoming week.
Exciting.
That is the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. That's right. This year with an introduction of a new feature, the chance to watch the annual programming in Peacock's 3-angle multi-view option, including a live stream positioned right on the main float itself. Now, this is the 99th annual parade broadcast, and it will begin, of course, Thanksgiving Day at 8:30 a.m. in all time zones across NBC and the streamer Peacock, with Wicked star Cynthia Erivo, of course, performing the opening number, and today's show staples, Savannah Guthrie, Hoda, who's coming back for the show. I think that's really cool.
Yep.
And, of course, Al Roker returning as host for the event, which last year drew in a record 31.7 million viewers. Peacock subscribers will be able to utilize the multi-view to see the 99th annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade event from all 3 different camera angles. Traditional programming from the primary view. The parade, as fans know and love it, will feature commentary from the NBCUC host, live performances, and more, of course. Float view right aboard the classic Tom the Turkey float through the streets of Manhattan and truly feel a part of the parade. The high-rise view, get a bird's eye view of all the excitement from the high above parade route. This marks the first time that Peacock has ever offered the multi-view for the live entertainment special. This is very freaking exciting because you're going to see it from all different angles, see different floats at different times. Think about, if y'all sports fans out there, think about like NFL Network, Red Zone, being able to watch multiple games on one screen. I think this is going to be awesome. And I love that the viewership keeps growing for this thing again, because we're just looking for positivity. We're looking for happiness. And Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade has been doing that for us for 99 years.
All right, what's not a risky move is this. This is a no-brainer to me. Former Paramount co-CEO Chris McCarthy has found his next gig. And guess what? It includes some familiar faces. McCarthy is in talks for a deal at NBC Universal to produce Yellowstone creator Taylor Sheridan's upcoming series and consult on the new relationship between Sheridan, David Glazer's 101 Studios, and NBC, following Sheridan's own move from his former home at Paramount. Now, that's according to sources close to the situation. This makes total sense. The longtime chief of Showtime and MTV Entertainment Studios and Paramount Media, McCarthy had a close working relationship with Landman and Yellowstone creator Sheridan and was responsible for bringing Sheridan there and getting all of Sheridan's hit shows on the air. So this only makes sense. While Sheridan's current deal with Paramount doesn't allow him to make TV shows for NBC Universal until 2029, McCarthy and 101, led by David Glazer, will start producing next year to prime the audience and get them ready for Taylor Sheridan's shows. So, yeah, if you guys see Boss Ranch And, that's on everything Taylor Sheridan does. The other one that you see is 101 Studios. And this guy was responsible for making those relationships happen and literally launching the Yellowstone and Uber Sheridan universe that we know and love. So it only makes sense. This is a smart executive move. Hey, that guy that built Taylor Sheridan, let's bring him over here and have him build him again. I mean, it's a brilliant move.
Completely agree, man. Completely agree. Anything that you can and utilize with Taylor Sheridan, you should jump on that
If
opportunity.
it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Well, Twisted Metal has been renewed for season 3 over at Peacock. In addition, Michael Jonathan Smith, who created the series and served as showrunner for the first 2 seasons, will be exiting the show. Dun, dun, dun. David Reed will board the series as showrunner and executive producer for season 3 under an overall deal with Sony Pictures Television. Now, Twisted Metal Season 2 debut on Peacock in July. The series stars Anthony Mackie, Stephanie Barrett, Joe Sinoa, and Will Arnett. Now, per NBC Universal, the second season has tailed about 993 million minutes viewed to date, making it Peacock's second biggest returning original scripted series. That's very exciting because anything and everything to support freaking Captain America himself, Anthony Mackie, he deserves the win. So I love to see it, man. I love to see it.
Me too. I haven't jumped on this one, but apparently it's really good. So maybe at some point, somehow, some miracle way, I will. I don't know. This one's also a no-brainer. And, they're going to have to expand the jackets. We got the 5-timers jackets. Maybe they should start doing decade jackets, right? Melissa McCarthy is returning to host Saturday Night Live this December. It was revealed during this week's episode that McCarthy will host the sketch comedy series with musical guest Dijon on December 6th. Now get this, it will be McCarthy's 6th time hosting and her first time leading the show since 2017. Of course, she's also appeared on guest spots on the show multiple times as former Trump press secretary Sean Spicer, among other little cameo appearances. And, of course, this only makes sense, Ariana Grande is also returning to Saturday Night Live on December 20th for her third stint as host. She'll be joined by musical guest star Cher, I didn't even think she was doing anything anymore, who will take the Studio 8H stage for the first time since her SNL debut all the way back in '87. Wow. The week before, on December 13th, Josh O'Connor will make his SNL hosting debut alongside Lily Allen, who makes her second appearance as a musical guest. That's a good lineup of guests coming, man, and I'm excited for that. Wow, Cher hasn't been on there since I was 17 years old. Holy shit. That's like she's 140 then, right? Like, I mean, damn.
Yeah, she's killing it. Her and Dick Van Dyke don't want to stop working.
No,
I mean, they're killing it, man. They're killing it. Well, NBC Universal and the Television Academy are ahead of schedule, announcing the 2026 Emmys date much earlier than usual. The TV Academy has yet unveiled next year's Emmy calendar, but it is already has a date for the ceremony, which is Monday, September 14th of 2026. At 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Now, the move to Monday is no surprise, given that NBC and Peacock holds the right for the 78th event. In recent years, when it's NBC's turn to air the Emmys under the soon-to-expire deal with the Wheel deal, the network moves the show to Mondays in order to avoid its broadcast of Sunday Night Football.
Duh.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
The last time NBC had the Emmys in 2022, and the show was held on Monday, September 12th, and that was hosted by Saturday Night Live star Kenan Thompson. NBC's telecast will be the final Emmys under that Wheel deal. The window for the TV Academy to start negotiations on a new contract began after the most recent telecast, but there is no indication that the talks have even heated up just yet. The most recent 8-year deal signed by the Big Four in 2018 cost about $8.25 million in annual licensing fees. The TV Academy could opt out to simply renew a current contract, add more networks/platforms like Netflix, or go the exclusive route with one outlet. That could be dangerous, though. However, as the TV Academy learned in the past, having an exclusive partner might mean more marketing, but it also means an alienation from all the other networks/platforms that right now could help support the .org. Man, oh man, because I'm just saying, the award shows finding homes on streaming, I think, is very beneficial for award shows in general.
Yeah.
So, I don't think you should be a one-stop shop at a linear place, in
Yeah,
my
no,
opinion.
if you're going to go one stop, it should definitely be a streamer. I agree with you. But I like the idea of one stop because it's a double-edged sword, right? They're like, no, let's do this wheel deal where we spin and bounce it from network to network. But the downside of that, the sharp side of that edge of the sword is people have a hard time finding it. It's like, which one is it on this year? Is it NBC? Is it ABC? Where's it at? Whereas if you're at least with one outlet, people know. You can consistently know, oh, it's on Netflix this year. It's Netflix. So I don't know, man. I guess there's pluses and minuses for both, but I'm with you, man. And Netflix, to their credit, I'm a Netflix fan, not a Netflix fan, Netflix not. But they are doing really well with the live stream award shows. And, you look at that first year with the SAG Awards, Actor Awards now, as we told you last week. And then they made huge improvement, and it's really good. So we'll see. Jumping on over to Sony, another one that I bet is going to be really good. The first look at Sony and Nintendo's live-action Legend of Zelda movie dropped earlier this week. Images released on Monday on the Nintendo Today app offered a sneak peek at young actors Bo Bragison and Benjamin Evan Ainsworth, who play the magical Princess Zelda and green-clad swordsman Link, respectively. Now, in the film adaptation of the beloved video game, the photos show Link and Zelda standing in a lush green field, Zelda with her signature bow and arrow, and both actors sporting costumes complete with the alien ears. Wes Ball directs this live-action Legend of Zelda, which will hit theaters next May. No, not next May. May of 2027. So you got a couple of years on this one. So that makes sense. It's probably a lot of CGI and stuff like that. But yeah, exciting. I know that's going to be big for some people.
No, most definitely. Legend of Zelda is like massive in the
Yeah.
video game community. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how that moves forward. Well, us moving forward later on in the show, going into Amazon MGM, where they have unveiled the first look at the offer actor Anthony Lepido as young Sylvester Stallone in I Play Rocky, a true story about the tumultuous making of the 1976 boxing classic Rocky. Now, the film tells the true story of Sylvester Stallone and his unshakable belief that he wasn't just meant to write Rocky, he was meant to be the Rocky Balboa
That's
character.
right.
Now, the Green Book filmmaker Peter Farley is directing I Play Rocky. I wish they would come up with a better name, though. That's a really weird name.
Yeah.
Which is currently in production. Now, of course, Ipito will star alongside Stephen James as Carl Weathers, who portrayed Rocky's fierce rival in the first one, at least, Apollo Creed, as well as Anna Sophia Robb, Matt Dillon, BJ Bryan, Tracy Letts, and Jay Duplass. Long before he became an on-screen action hero, the 29-year-old Sylvester Stallone was struggling as an actor with a partially paralyzed face and a speech impediment. Of course, it's not a tumor. Other guy, sorry. He wrote the script to play Rocky, but refused to sell the rights unless he got to actually play Rocky, the lead. After turning down six-figure deal, he got a movie made for under $1 million. Ultimately, the underdog story, Rocky, became that year's biggest box office hit and later won Oscar for the Best Picture. After cementing his place in Hollywood's history, the original Rocky spawned several sequels as well as the Creed spin-off series, of course. I wonder if they're gonna touch on the time that he may or may not have starred in a adult film. So we'll see.
Yeah, hey, man, he had to pay the bills, man. He had to pay the bills.
He did.
I just feel bad for him because this is obviously, I think, going to do really well, and he's going to have no part in it because, Irwin, whatever is that debate, stole it from him. This is a man who created that, fought for it, gave up huge monies to be the person, and then they just ripped it right out from underneath him, and that's just fucked up. That is fucked up. And for all you people out there struggling, I mean, this is a guy, like we said, a speech impediment and partially paralyzed in the face. He turned that into legend. Adrian! I mean, he used the speech impediment and paralysis and became legendary for it. I just, if you're struggling, you got this. You got this. Just look at Sly, man. Just look at Sly. You know what else? This is going to be exciting. This one's been in the talks to be remade, and I mean sequel made forever. Christian Bale, is apparently eyeing the role in Michael Mann's Heat 2. The long-awaited sequel, of course, to filmmaker's 1995 crime drama starring Al Pacino and Bobby De Niro, according to a source with knowledge. Now, Bale previously starred in Mann's Public Enemies, of course, and if the deal closes, the reunion could see the Oscar winner starring alongside Leo DiCaprio, who is also being eyed for a leading role. Now, Amazon MGM Studios and United Artists are expected to start production on the film in 2026. The project actually just received a sizable $37.2 million tax credit from California's Film Commission to stay in the state and shoot there. Plot details for Heat 2 haven't been revealed, although Mann adapted the screenplay from the 2022 New York Times bestselling novel that he co-wrote with Meg Gardner. So fans of Heat have long wanted this. They've been waiting for it, and I'm excited. And if you got DiCaprio and Bale, and then De Niro and, come on. It's going to be a big one.
Dude, I'm super excited. I hope they get both of those guys. That would be freaking awesome. I just listened to the What Went Wrong podcast about the making of Heat.
Yeah.
And boy, oh boy, that was definitely worth the listen, man.
Yeah.
Definitely worth the listen. Well, Amazon is officially moving forward with a new Stargate TV series. Now, the new project hails from the Martin Gero, who began his career in the original Stargate TV franchise. Exact plot details for the series are being kept well under the wraps. The series will be produced by Amazon MGM Studios and air on Prime Video. Now, Gero will serve as writer and executive producer and, of course, showrunner on the Stargate. It was first reported back in 2022 that the Amazon Prime series Amazon was looking to develop new projects in the Stargate universe following the company's acquisition of the franchise producer MGM Studios. Now, Stargate originally launched in 1994, starring the one and only James Spader and Kurt Russell. The film was followed by a hit series, Stargate SG-1, which aired for 10 seasons and starred Richard Dean Anderson, Michael Shanks, and Amanda Tapping. Also, the other guy, Christopher Judge, among many others, of course. The spinoff Stargate Atlantis then aired for 5 seasons between 2004 and 2008. So it's obviously a popular franchise, so let's see what Amazon MGM can do with it.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous, though. I think this one has been played out. So, was really popular. I just don't know if the interest is still there, but I guess we're going to find out. Yeah. Jumping on over to Netflix, where there's definitely still interest in this one, The Hunting Wife Season 2 is back, officially in production, right where I'm at. I can walk right down the street and be an extra in it, I promise. In addition, Karen Rodriguez and Hunter Emery are now confirmed to return for the second season of the drama as series regulars. Rodriguez plays Deputy Salazar, while Emery plays Deputy Flynn. Now, Branton Box, who plays Sheriff Johnny, will return in a guest starring role. As previously reported, of course, Brittany Snow, Malin Ackerman, Jamie Ray Newman, Dermot Mulroney, Evan Chocolate, and George Ferrier are all set to return. I've seen a bunch of them already for Season 2. The official log line for the second season states, Sophie and Margot are now on the outs, but soon enough, old secrets and new foes force them back together as they play their dangerous games and the questions arise. Are they the hunters or the hunted? This is a fun show. There's a lot of sex, a lot of, just greed. It's fun. It's fun. It's a modern day primetime soap is really what it is, but it works. It works, and, good for them. I'm excited for it.
For sure, man. For sure. Well, I know you want to take this next one because this one is near and dear to your heart. That's for sure.
It is, and I'm upset about it, but I guess it's run its course. I mean, how much more could you do? It's time, of course, to say we found out this week, goodbye to the Landry family. That's right, you guys. The Way Home will end with its upcoming 4th season, set to be released on the Hallmark Channel next spring. The series, of course, stars Andy McDowell, Kyler Lee, and Sadie LaFlamme Snow. The series has been huge numbers since debuting on Netflix. And the 4th season is currently in production. Now, The Way Home follows 3 generations of the Landry family as they embark on a journey throughout Port Haven to find their way back to each other by using time travel. Season 3, spoilers, guys, if you haven't watched it, ended with Dell time traveling for the first time, going back in time to witness her wedding to Colton in the 1970s, as well as the disappearance of Jacob. The season also ended with the reveal that Susanna left the infamous Lingermore estate to the Landry family, and the audiences learned the real identity of the mystery baby by the pond was actually Elliot. What? That's right, that's how it ended. I'm so excited. Yeah, you know, a lot of our favorites, Devin Chiquetto is coming back. They've been filming now for a while for season 4, and season 1 is on Netflix, and it just found a massive new audience. It was already a huge hit on Hallmark Channel, but not a lot of people necessarily have Hallmark Channel, so it found a new audience on Netflix, so it's just booming in popularity, which crushes me that they're gonna, but I'm okay with it because I like when a show decides we've run its course, we had a set story we wanted to tell, and just because it's popular, we're not going to run it into the ground. I think so many times we see a series do that where they set out to tell a certain time frame of a story, but then the ratings were huge and they're like, let's just keep going, and it sucks, right? So I'm glad to see that kind of go, not that way, and I'll hate to say goodbye, but maybe we'll get a few more of them on to talk about it and how their feelings are about saying goodbye to the family. That's going to be, we'll see. But yeah, great show if you guys haven't checked it out.
Great show, man. Great freaking show. Well, Netflix has given a series order to Trigger Point, an A24 produced series starring Joel Edgerton. The 8-episode action crime drama follows a group of former Tier 1 Special Forces operators who sell their elite skills to the criminal underworld behind the front of a private military contracting firm and the FBI agent who's hunting for them. Per the official logline, Edgerton will play Red, a criminal group's leader. Harrison Query serves as executive showrunner, with Jeremy Schallner set to direct this bad boy. Both are executive producers alongside Cut 2's Joe Hips and Patrick McDonald. So yeah, that's very interesting. Should be an interesting series. I mean, like I said, behind Warner Brothers Television, it's Netflix. Netflix has the second best television and most trending stuff, so I'm sure it's going to be a great show and will find an audience.
And the Edgertons, man, they just kill it, bro. They're both like just rocking and rolling. They're both phenomenal actors, and they're just like getting it done. So it'll be exciting. Speaking of a man who's still getting it done all these years later, David Letterman. His next subject on his popular Netflix interview series, My Next Guest Needs No Introduction, Mr. Adam Sandler. Yep, the special episode will air on the streamer on December 1st. Now, the two will discuss Sandler's journey from stand-up comedian to Saturday Night Live mainstay to global movie star. Earlier this year, Sandler starred in the record-breaking streaming sequel Happy Gilmore 2, and he appears opposite George Clooney and Laura Dern in Noah Baumbach's upcoming drama Jay Kelly, which debuts on Netflix on December 5th. Letterman has known Sandler, if you didn't know, for decades, as the latter appeared on the former's late-night talk show several times over the years. Now, Letterman filmed this special episode with Sandler way back in September at New York University. The interview was taped in front of a live audience and of students, and as Dave always does, he keeps the guests a secret. Sandler was kept a surprise before the taping, so when he walks out, they're like, "Whoa!" Which is awesome because that's like the way to do it. I love when Dave does that. If you guys haven't checked out this series, it came out like with a bunch, like 5, 6, 7, 8 episodes, but lately he's just been doing them one-offs as like this one with Sandler. But it's a brilliant series, great interviews, and check it out if you haven't checked it out. It's so good.
Yeah, it's a great freaking show. Great class act as far as master class as far as interviewing people, because Dave does it so much differently than so many other people.
Serious interviews. Yeah. Like, I think people are so used to Dave with his goofy interviews, but he's like a real journal. I mean, these are in-depth conversations and interviews. Mm-hmm. I agree with you. It's just so good.
Yeah, agreed, man. Agreed. Well, rounding out our industry news, the one and only Benoit Blanc will return to solve his most dangerous case yet in the new trailer for Netflix's Wake Up, Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. Now, Wake Up Dead Man is the third installment in the Rian Johnson's Knives Out franchise. Now, the film hits theaters on November 26th as a 2-week theatrical run before premiering on Netflix on December 12th. The film will once again follow the D. Bonjour detective Blanc, who is played by, of course, Daniel Craig, as he takes on a new puzzling case. The official synopsis reads: after a sudden and seemingly impossible murder rocks the town, the lack of obvious suspects prompts local police chief General Geraldine Scott, who's played by Mia Kunis, to join forces with the renowned detective Benoit Blanc to unravel a mystery that defies all logic. Man, oh man, this is the franchise that I did not expect to go this far.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it was one of those that you're just like, wow, this is actually pretty good. An English guy can do a goofy ass Southern accent.
Yeah, yeah.
And it continues to pull in big ass cast members and continues to deliver on entertaining films.
I
So,
guess so,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm excited for it.
You would have thought, because it was a really original idea, an original concept that worked really well, and it would have been a great one-off. But somehow they've figured out a way to keep spinning them.
It's
So
what Hollywood
okay.
does, man. It's what Hollywood does.
Yeah, just I'm not shocked by it. If something's a hit, they run with it. But yeah,
Exactly.
fortunately for them, it's working. Like literally what I was just saying about the other shows about how you stay too long, it's working for them so far. So we'll see.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Well, now it is time for a top 5 segment, man. And with this being our last show before Thanksgiving, it is top 5 scenes with food. This
Yes.
could be fun scenes. This could be dramatic scenes. This could be anything and everything you think about food in film or television. So it's a whole lot of fun. How did you approach your list?
I approached my list with memorable scenes that made me like I can't forget them. I can't forget them. And they're all on my list for very different reasons. Like very different reasons why they're on my list of unforgettable moments. But they're all pretty good. They're all great. And this is why but that's how I approached mine. Ones that I just can't get out of my head. And literally all of these are like, if the film is on somewhere and it's on this particular scene, I'll stop and watch it because they're that good. I'll be like, oh, wait a minute, I got to see this again. Like, yeah. How about you?
Great. Yeah, the same way. Same way. I'm like food in either film or television, and
Yes.
like these just popped up, and I was just like, yeah, those are the ones that really left an imprint on like what I think about. But I mean, there's classics like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with pizza, like, but I mean, there's not a specific scene. So yeah, it was fun. It was fun to get into the nitty gritty of, actors being able to fake eat or real eat
Yeah,
in scenes.
yeah.
So I thought it was
I
really
feel
cool.
you though with like some of the honorable mentions because I desperately wanted to put Pretty Woman with the food like when she can't
yeah.
figure out how to do it. I'm like, how do I not put that on there? It's such an adorable scene, but I have other ones, so I have to put the other ones.
Exactly.
It's like,
Yeah, that another one for me is like Richie Rich with Macaulay Culkin. He has a McDonald's in his house.
yes, yes.
Like, I mean, just things like that.
Or the
Yeah,
Grand
it's always so
Royale
fun.
or the $5
Yes.
milkshake. There was so many that we could have put on the list, but anyway.
I know. I was very close to putting the freaking Pulp Fiction one on
Yeah,
there.
me
That's for
too.
sure.
Me too.
Well, number 5 for me goes to Gilmore Girls: A Year in the Life. And I'm talking about Suki's return.
Yes.
Because this freaking show, this mini series, I guess, of course, Gilmore Girls was so beloved. So they brought it back. Netflix brought it back with Amy Sherman Palladino and Dan. And they were able to end it the way they wanted to end it.
Yes.
Because that final season, if y'all didn't know, that season 7, it wasn't written by the Palladinos. It was completely like off kiltered. So they finally were able to come back, end it the way they wanted to, and I mean, everybody had kind of shot up to stardom by then. I mean,
Yeah.
Melissa McCarthy in that particular time, she was probably at the height of her career.
For sure.
Doing all of these crazy things, like being the star-studded actress that we all know and love today. But when she came back for this particular episode, I think it was iconic because, of course, the Dragonfly Inn from all you Gilmore girls and Gilmore guys out there. Like, it's iconic. And of course, Suki and Lorelai ran it together, and Suki went out and did her own culinary escapades where she was traveling the world, becoming this world-renowned chef that we all know and love she could be. And so she was away, and then in this scene, Lorelai comes in to the inn and just smells food,
Yes.
smells amazing cooking, and she just says, "Ah, Suki." And when she walks in, it's this big platter of all of these different things that you can think of: desserts, entrees, breakfast, dinner. Like it was an amazing scene and very touching too, because it really showed like the relationship that the two actresses has built throughout their time, and her coming back and reuniting in
Yeah.
such an iconic way as an iconic character. So yeah, number 5 for me is Suki's return in Gilmore Girls: A Year in the Life.
Nice. Nice. I love that. I love that. My number 5, I think that this scene, my movie is Five Easy Pieces. It's a lesser known Jack Nicholson film, but it's right around at the cusp of when he was starting to take off. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, The Shining, etc. And Easy Rider, around that time era. So young Jack, right? And we've all been in a restaurant where we've had a waitress that just wasn't very nice, right? Like in this film, this particular waitress, think Nurse Ratched from One Flew Over the as a waitress, okay? So basically his character, Robert, is they're in a restaurant and it's breakfast and he's ordering an omelet and he would like some toast to go with it, a side order of toast to go with the omelet. And this waitress basically, now think Jack Torrance in The Shining about that demeanor there when he's very calm, but you can tell he's just about to snap the fuck off and go crazy. That's how he is in this character in this diner scene. And this waitress is like, "We don't do side orders of toast." And he's like, "No, I'd like a side order of toast with my omelet. We don't do that. You can't have that." And he's like, "What do you mean you don't do a side order of toast? You make sandwiches, right? You have bread." And she's like, "Yes." "Well, then I'd like a side order of toast." "We don't do that." He's like, "Well, I can't eat my omelet without," and he's maintaining, but he's boiling, and you can kind of tell he's boiling. And she just stays stone cold, refusing to break the whole rule. And he's like, "How am I going to get a side order of toast?" And she's like, "We don't do that. If you want bread, order a sandwich." And he's like, "I don't want a sandwich with my omelet. I'm ordering breakfast. I want toast." And she's like, "Well, we don't do that." And he's like looking at her, and you can tell he just wants to get up and just like kill her. And so she's like, "Is it just the omelet?" And he said, "No, as a matter of fact, it's not just the omelet." And I wanted to pull this up because the line is so deliverable, and I can't ever forget the line. I kind of want to drop it in a restaurant every time I have a bad waitress. So she says, "Okay, well, what else with the omelet?" And he said, "Well, I'd like a chicken salad sandwich on wheat toast, no mayonnaise, no butter, no lettuce, and hold the chicken salad." So it's basically toast. And the waitress looks at him and just scowls and scuffs off. And I'm like, that's fucking brilliant. How many times have you just wanted to go off on a waitress like that? And he's like, "Bitch, I am going to get my toast and I am going to make you bring it to me." And it's just the way he delivers it. It's so classic Jack Nicholson with that dry tone, that like just, yeah, evil, pure evil way. And I am winning this battle with you. And yeah, just a classic scene, man. Five Easy Pieces. Give me my damn toast. It's so good, bro. If you have never seen it, the movie's pretty good. I wouldn't say some stellar Oscar worthy. The movie's fun, but that scene is worth looking it up on YouTube. His delivery is just classic, iconic Jack Nicholson every way. It's so good.
I love that. Yeah, it sounds fun. It sounds fun. Number 4 for me goes to the first Friendsgiving for the television show
yes.
Friends. Of course, this is the first time all of these young adults are out on their own making Thanksgiving for themselves. There's so many different expectations because you want to make it exactly how you remember it at home. And of course, everything goes wrong. And of course, they get locked out of their freaking apartment when all of these things are going awry, and it becomes a big old disaster, basically.
Yeah.
But I think what this episode represents is even through disasters, you still have your friends around you that are able to support you, or just your circle around you to support you. And I love it too because Chandler famously does not like Thanksgiving because that's when his family would always argue.
Yeah.
So he would always eat grilled cheese and Funyuns,
Yeah.
and that's what everybody ended up eating was grilled cheese and Funyuns. Did anybody want dark cheese or light cheese? So it was fun. I always enjoy it. Of course, Friends is one of my all-time favorite television shows, but I think what this episode represents is another stepping stone into adulthood that things are going to happen that are out of your control, but you have to be able to find the good side of the situations that you're in throughout your journey. And I think that's what this show and this specific episode represents. So, yeah, number 4 for me, the Friends episode of Friendsgiving, the first one, the first one.
Yes, love that, love that, and yeah, you can. Everybody now has these friendsgiving gatherings. It's from
Exactly.
because
Yeah,
of this.
it's so
It's just
iconic.
yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Okay, my number 4 is, of course, I had to find a way to put this on the list. The Godfather, because it's one of the greatest, if not the greatest film ever made, right? But you guys know I love to cook. This scene is literally where I first learned how to make homemade spaghetti sauce. I've since toyed it and messed with it to make it my own original recipe, but I swear this scene, you guys know which one I'm talking about. It's the red sauce scene where Peter is explaining to Michael Corleone how to make red sauce and the importance of red sauce. And when you think about the violent nature of The Godfather and everything that goes down, this very simplistic, very just Italian family emphasizing the importance of a good red sauce, you know, as they're talking about all this, it's just memorable for that. With all the scenes that you think about in The Godfather, you know, all of the violence, all of the, this scene stands out as just something very simplistic, very natural, very, you can totally see a beloved Italian family passing along to the next generation how to make the sauce. It's just, and of course they end it with a gun wrap because you got to, it's The Godfather. But yeah, it's always been one of my favorite scenes because it really is just a very simplistic look at this family, which The Godfather always was about family. It was like, these are good people doing what they have only known. Forget that they're gangsters. It's just a family making a living and they're good people. But this scene tries to emphasize the family aspect of it and the nurturing and the teaching and just, by the way, if you've never watched the scene and made the sauce, you should give it a try. It's a damn good red sauce. I'm just saying, it's a damn good red sauce. My number 4, The Godfather, the making of the red sauce scene.
Ah, so good, man. So good. My number 3 goes to Hook. And this is the imaginary feast scene. Robin Williams and Rufio and all the good ones, man. I love this film because it's honing back in your imagination, honing back in your childhood love of just people and fun and just trying different things in your imagination. Because remember when you were a kid trying out all of these different stories, as kids I feel like we were always storytellers, making up different adventures with our toys, our action figures. And I think what Peter, Robin Williams character, he got away with, he grew up, he became an adult, he completely forgot about the Lost Boys, he forgot about Never Never Land, like he forgot about all these things. So when he was brought back to save his children, it was such an iconic, interesting storyline that, you know, Steven Spielberg and everybody else who was involved with the writing and development of this film came up with. And I think that's what a lot of adults forget. They forget their childhood. They forget the love and the fun and the imagination that they used to have.
Yes.
And I think that's what this film is a beautiful representation of. But the imaginary feast where you just have to imagine the food being there, and their whole thing, like it was like a Thanksgiving feast, and it looked so good with the ice cream, and then there was a food fight, and that film
Yes.
is just so fun. It's long, don't get me wrong, it's a long movie, but it's really fun. And if y'all haven't seen Hook, please be sure to do so. Another iconic Robin Williams performance, and Julia Roberts as Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell, yeah.
And Dustin Hoffman as freaking Hook. Like, there's so many iconic people that you don't even realize. But yeah, it's a great freaking movie, man. Number 3 for me, Hook with the imaginary feast scene.
Yes, a lot of controversy around when that thing first announced the cast. People were like, what? I don't want any of those people playing those roles. And yet it worked brilliantly. It's like, never question Steven Spielberg, damn it. My number 3, along the same lines of just the pure innocence of childhood and just a simple, innocent moment that turns into something just a little bit more. And my number 3 is Lady and the Tramp, the classic spaghetti scene. You know, they're crushing on each other. You can kind of tell there's something. Maybe they're in love. Maybe they're not. They're still a little shy. Tramp's trying to be all, you know, polite and respectful. And Lady's a lady. And he's trying to treat it. And they share a plate of spaghetti. You know, and it's innocent and it's beautiful. And as they're just enjoying the little strap, they kiss, oh my gosh. And then you see, you know, it's just one of those moments in film history for me that expresses love in a real way. When we first fall in love and we're so giddy and we're just like, we don't know whether to be shy. We don't know whether to be all in. We don't know. And it's just that moment of realization, that little kiss where it all just hits. And for me, it's always been a classic scene about what love should be. Innocent and pure and just real. And so it's hard not to love that scene. And, yeah, it's just Lady and the Tramp, the spaghetti scene. I don't know if you've ever been a young person in love. You can relate to that scene. If you can't, what is wrong with you? It's what pure, innocent young love is all about, man. Lady and the Tramp. Go get you a bowl of spaghetti and share a kiss, damn it. That's all I'm saying.
That's it, man. That's it. My number 2 goes to Uncle Buck. Oh my goodness. John Candy. If y'all haven't watched the John Candy documentary on Amazon Prime, please do it. It's so freaking good. And then Macaulay Culkin, before his Home Alone fame, was also in this bad boy. Their dynamic, oh my gosh, the questions that freaking Macaulay Culkin and John Candy like go back and forth, like it's such an iconic scene. But another iconic scene in this film is when Uncle Buck is making everybody pancakes. And Uncle Buck is kind of like this uncle who has a shady past, is kind of sketchy in certain ways, but he's an overall good person. And the parents didn't have anyone else to watch their children while they went like to a funeral, I believe. So they call Uncle Buck, who is played by John Candy, who is the brother of the dad, and he comes in. He's this rebellious guy who like isn't necessarily cookie cutter and kind of rough around the edges. But it's a fun movie showing you that, you know, everybody has a redemption story. Everybody can get off the beaten track, but you can get back on it. But this scene, it's a huge ass pancake. He's making them breakfast. This thing's huge. Like, it's freaking so massive that he uses a snow shovel to flip it. And I don't know why. I've always wanted to make a big old pancake that size because of that film.
Yes.
That one's just always stuck in my head. So yeah, number 2 for me, the Uncle Buck scene with the big ass pancake. That's for sure.
Yeah, who doesn't want a big ass pancake that you have to flip with a shovel? Come on, come on. My number 2 is the complete opposite of the pure innocence of Lady and the Tramp. My number 2 is the bread and butter kitchen scene with 9.5 Weeks, Kim Basinger and Mickey Rourke. It's called the bread and butter scene because they play the classic song, I like bread and butter, throughout the whole scene. This has got to be one of the most erotic, sensual, sexy, hot scenes ever put on film without showing anything, which I love because the whole scene is about the tease. You're teased about the sex the whole time, but never see it. And the scene it's him teasing her with food in front of an open refrigerator on the kitchen floor. She has to keep her eyes closed and blindfolded, and he's teasing her with different foods, and she's trying to figure out what it is. And it is so damn hot. And yet you never do see anything, which I thought is brilliant filmmaking at its very best. It's not only is the scene teasing food, but it's teasing
without ever delivering what you know is going to happen. And it's just brilliant filmmaking and storytelling, in my opinion. I can tell you that anybody my age, that became the thing. If you didn't do that, you were like, what? You never tried the 9.5 week scene? What? Yeah, it was just, it's like with Top Gun, everybody wanted to be a fighter pilot. 9.5 weeks, everybody wanted to be on the kitchen floor in front of the refrigerator testing food. It was like just that thing. So it's iconic. It's one of the most iconic scenes. And it's before Mickey Rourke got all fucked up. It's hot Kim Basinger, like smoking hot Kim Basinger in her prime. And it's a fun scene. It's a really twisted movie if you've never seen 9.5 weeks. But this is a very subtle, genuine, romantic scene within the context of what's really going on in that relationship. But my number 2, 9.5 weeks. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Don't show the kids, though. Don't show the kids.
No kids.
They don't show anything, but still don't show the kids.
No. That's funny. Well, the time has come. My number 1. And once you hear the film, you'll know why. Of course. My number 1 is Home Alone 2, the ice cream in the hotel scene.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, that ice cream bowl looked so freaking amazing. Home Alone 1 also has a great ice cream scene, but the second one in the hotel, like, it looks how I want every single ice cream bowl to look, and I'm always disappointed every time I get ice cream somewhere else. Out. Because it's not the same, man. It's not the freaking same.
It's not.
The whole spread that he orders in the hotel with room service is so freaking, like, it just looks delicious. I love what movies does to food. But yeah, I just love the whole sequence in the hotel because Tim Curry, obviously Rob Schneider, and so many others. It's iconic, man. It's iconic. If y'all listen to this podcast for a while, you know how much Home Alone 2 means for me. So, of course, number 1 for me, Home Alone 2, the ice cream hotel scene.
Yes, it had to be on the list. It had to be. It wouldn't have been a list without it. My number 1, I'm just going to say it, in my opinion, maybe the single greatest written, acted, and shot scene in television or film ever. I'm talking about The Bear, Season 2, Episode 7, Fishes. It's the Christmas Eve dinner scene with the fish where everybody's around the table and the heat is coming, where there's an argument. John Bernthal finally got the Emmy. This is one of the most brilliant scenes ever, but it all centers around fish. You know, if you guys remember this episode, it's about 7 fishes and the tradition behind the 7 fishes and the religious aspect to it and everything. And Mom is freaking out because she's trying to get these 7 fishes right, and it's the center point of this Christmas Eve dinner, and it's all the focus and the whole time around the table when Mom's freaking out and kind of going nuts and everybody's trying to keep the cool and figure out how to maintain and get through this night, the tension is building. And Bernthal, you know, he's just hurling forks, you know, at the boyfriend, and just like it's building and building. And then, you know, here comes somebody walking in with an 8th fish. Wait a minute, what? And that's the trigger point. That's it for Bernthal. It's like, I'm done. This is it. And it turns into the single greatest argument scene I have ever seen. It's just absolutely some of the most phenomenal, like I said, directing and acting and performances and cinematography, just everything that I've ever seen in film or television. It's an incredible scene. Jamie Lee Curtis and Johnny Bernthal and like everybody around that table, just a game.
Yeah,
and the fact
I think
that
it was Bob Odenkirk.
Exactly. And the fact that it's all about the 7 fishes and how the 8th fish fucks it all up and like throws it over the top. It's a really brilliant scene, and I think the reason it sticks out for me, not just because of the performances and everything, but because who hasn't at some point been around a table with family where there's tension and you just want to just unload, but you can't. And Bernthal's like, oh, but I can. And we just, you know, it's just so good, you guys. If you have not seen that show, first of all, specifically that episode, I highly recommend it. If you're a filmmaker, a writer, an actor, masterclass in how to do it all in just that scene. I'm just telling you. My number 1, The Bear, Fishes, the Christmas Eve dinner scene. Oh, so good.
So good. All of these on our list. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, top notch cinema or television with food.
Yes,
for
yes.
sure. Please, but we want to know, what is your favorite scene? Please, we want to know, what is your favorite scene from either film or television that involves food? Please
Yes.
be sure to let you comment down below in the YouTube comment section. Add us on X Threads, Instagram, all the good places. Please, we love the fan interaction. It's a whole lot of goofiness. Man, oh man, we super appreciate that. But now we're heading over to the box office recap, where The Running Man did not come in at number one.
No.
It ran into the second place, but Now You See Me, Now You Don't came in at
Yes.
number one with $21 million. The Running Man came in number two with $17 million. Predator Badlands came in at number three with $13 million. Regretting You came in at number four with $4 million. And Black Phone 2 with $2.6 million in the fifth spot. So that's very freaking awesome.
Yes.
And of course, new movies coming out this week. Wicked, For Good, really the only one that matters that everybody's going to be talking about, which is a shame because the next one, Rental Family, starring Brendan Fraser, I really want to see. It looks like a phenomenal
Could be
film.
his
Such
second
a great,
Oscar.
yeah, I think it's going to be at least it's going to get nominated.
For
That's
sure.
for sure.
For sure.
But I'm super excited about that one because it looks so heart touching. If y'all
I
haven't seen the trailer,
will be
please
one
check
of
it
the
out.
rare people that sees both of those movies this weekend.
Yeah.
I'll be in a packed house for Wicked and I'll be by myself for Rental Family, but it's okay. I'll enjoy
Fine.
both.
That's right, man. That's right. And Shizu: The Road to Revenge.
Yeah, this is a
also,
sequel. I'd never even heard of the first one, but apparently this is some like big movie. I'm like, I've never even heard of the first one. Like,
Right?
I
Had
don't
no
know.
idea. Had no idea. Movies you can still go see, of course, all the ones I listed above. Roofman, Nuremberg, Keeper, and so many more.
Yeah.
Select theaters near you. Check out your show times and head out to the theater this weekend, man. Have a little fun. Have a little
Yes.
fun. Treat yourself. And then, of course, the IMDb Pros top trending segment. Frankenstein is still the number one movie.
Yeah.
I still need to watch it. Did you watch it yet?
Yes, and dude, uh, it's a great film, great acted, but it's the visuals. Kudos to the costume designer, the production designer, the visual aspect, the cinematography, just everything visually about this film is just, you can't take your eyes off of it. It's a phenomenal film, really good, long, but worth it.
Yeah.
The payoff is worth it. Definitely, I think you'll love it.
For sure. Jacob Elordi still did pretty well. 'Cause you're not a
I'm
fan.
not. I'm not a fan. I'm just not on board with this guy. But he does really well in this film. It may be my turning point, like you with Timothy Chalamet. It
Right.
may be my turning point that at least get me interested to see what else he can do moving forward. I don't know. I'm not going to commit to that. But I did enjoy him in this film.
Nice, nice. Well, he is the top trending star this
He
week
is.
again because he is the Frankenstein monster. And then, of course, the top trending show is Pluribus, which I guess is very popular right now. I haven't jumped on it yet, but people are talking about it.
Yeah, and this is one of those rare occurrences where 2 weeks in a row nothing changed from the top trenders, which
Yeah.
is that hardly ever happens. But there you go. So they must
Yeah.
be good.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Well, that is our show, y'all. Episode 314 in the books for Inside
Yes.
the Crazy Ant Farm. Again, this is the easiest, craziest place to find your entertainment news. So be sure to like, share,
All of
comment,
it.
all the good things. As always, thank you for listening. And of course, you can follow everything on social media. The company is at crazyantmedia.com. That's the website, but it's at Crazy Ant Media on social media, of course, on anywhere and everywhere on social media. The podcast is at ITCAFpodcast anywhere and everywhere on social media. And then, of course, our other podcast, Everything's OKP, is also available on social media. So be
Yes.
sure to check those out. And then, of course, you can follow us anywhere and everywhere on social media personally as well. Myself, I am at J Logan Austin, and
I am at Crazy Ant CEO.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you guys know you can subscribe to this podcast anywhere you listen to your podcast. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Stitcher, and so much more. And if you like this video, be sure to hit that like button down below, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell for all the latest and greatest Crazy Ant Media news coming out of our freaking YouTube channel.
Yes.
And then, of course, be sure to visit our website, www.crazyantmedia.com, where you can find out a little bit more about our projects, find out a little bit more about us personally, and then, of course, stay up to date with the podcast and everything on social media. We also have our merchandise. Be sure to check that out. as well. But this is next week's Thanksgiving, y'all. So we'll see y'all in 2 weeks, but we're super excited about it. Again, we're thankful for you, all the fans out there who keep coming back and listening and supporting and doing all the crazy things. It's an amazing time, that's for sure.
Really
and I'm
is.
super thankful to be here doing this with you, brother.
Yeah, same, my man, same. It's been an incredible ride all these years, and that we get to keep doing it. It's one of my favorite days every day of every week. I look forward to it, and it's just incredible. And like you, so grateful for everybody that's keeping us around and entertained by it as much as we are entertained by doing it. And I'm already in the holiday spirit, my man. Decorations are up everywhere. Christmas music is playing. It's hard not to be there already. But that 9.5 weeks, Santa just called, and I did get back on the naughty list. I'm sorry, Santa. I'm sorry. But I'm excited, and I'm ready for the holidays and the Christmas break. But just it's gonna be a good one.
It is. And as always, we're thankful for the one, the only
Oprah!